What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 back-to-back battles. Today we are still using the pledge team that my boy Nate created. If you want to go give my boy Nate a follow, I highly recommend doing so in the description down below. But right now we're going to be playing with this team. If you didn't watch the last episode, I highly recommend go checking it out. But we ended up getting 3 wins in yesterday's episode, so of course we are aiming for more wins and hopefully we can get some with this team. This team has been very fun to play with, and it had some really good games last episode, so let's see if we can continue our streak as we find a 1600 rated player from Japan with a minimized team. Minimized team. What do I exactly want to say about this? What do I exactly want to say? I don't really have anything that I really want to say. Yeah, minimize is definitely interesting. I don't want to face it personally. I think, let's see, Tapu Lele plus Snorlax is probably okay. I could probably have Mimikyu in the back. Like, this is going to be a weird team to face. Minimize, I don't think we've played this at all for quite a while. On the series. But yeah, minimize is definitely going to be annoying. Guard split's going to be annoying. I think I'll lead Tapu Lele Snorlax with Mimikyu and I don't know, the last Pokemon, I think Primarina is probably the most solid Pokemon. Of course, the Decidueye wouldn't hurt too much since it can't be spored. Outspeeds the Abra and the Alakazam. I forgot what Abra does on this team, but it's nothing good, I can definitely tell you that much. I think I'll have Primarina since it can OHKO, you know, the Sableye and a bunch of other things, but this is definitely going to be a weird matchup, to say the least. What's good about my Psychic Terrain, though, it does prevent stuff like Fake Out or Taunt from my opponent's side, especially that Sableye, which could be extremely annoying, and what this allows me to do, I could probably just get a Belly Drum up if my opponent wants to step Trick Room. I could also Taunt anything on my opponent's side, really. So I'm just gonna lead my Tapu Lele and my Snorlax right here against my opponent's Smeargle Carbink. Okay, so this Smeargle I think will carry Explosion, since it's very common for Smeargle to carry Explosion, yet I'm not really too worried about Explosion right here. Carbink probably has some Mental Herb anyway, so I'm not really worried. You can't go for Fake Out in this. I think I just taunt a Smeargle right here, and I go for a Belly Drum right here. Even Endeavor Smeargle isn't really that much of a threat, as yeah, Smeargle is going to withdraw here, go out into the Chansey right here, so that's actually great because this means Chansey can't set up anything like a defense curl or anything of that sort of nature. So I do get the taunt off, and a +6 Belly Drum I think it's going to be doing a lot. And yeah, even if I taunted the Carbink, it would still been able to basically get that guard split up. So no matter what, I guess this is an okay position, as I do get the Belly Drum up. So now we are at +6 with our Snorlax, and now we're pretty much free just to do damage in general. I don't remember this Carbink had Explosion though, but if it goes for Explosion, I don't know, I mean, we are still going to go for a Psychic into Chansey. It should do a decent amount with the Life Orb boost, and I will just return to Chansey. Not sure, I don't think my opponent's going for a Trick Room at all in this game, just because Snorlax is a big threat under Trick Room. So let's see what I can do here. This Chansey can't recover anything. That Psychic does still a lot of damage though. 25% is not bad at all on a Chansey. Seismic Toss going to go out into Tapu Lele, so thinking Tapu Lele is a threat. Maybe Explosion here? Yeah, it is going to be the Explosion actually, so this isn't going to do too much to Chansey, yet I do not really mind this, as yeah, Explosion doesn't do anything, and the fact that I'm able to get rid of the Carbink without doing anything, good thing that's a crit on Snorlax too. This is +6 return, don't think it will KO Chansey, yeah, but it does put it in range of another Psychic, so basically a good turn that I got out of. And let's see what my opponent has in the back. Smeargle can't really do anything, it can Spore, I guess. Actually, wait, I wasn't faster than Smeargle, was I? Alakazam gonna come out though, which is definitely an interesting Pokemon. Ooh, Psychic's gonna be quite a threat here, but no matter what, Alakazam can't knock out 2 targets at once. I just returned to Alakazam and go for the Psychic in the Chansey, as we're gonna see the Ally switch here, which is interesting, but it's not really gonna help my opponent too much because I'll be able to knock out the Chansey no matter what here, and I get a lot of damage onto the Alakazam. So even though my opponent did make the good play here, I still think I'm fine here, as Seismic Toss won't be doing too much anyway. Let's see, Seismic Toss is going to go out into the Tapu Lele, so Tapu Lele will finally go down thanks to that Life Orb recoil. Seismic Toss always does 50 damage in VGC, as return is going to go off in a Chansey, and Chansey's going to get blown away. So it's Smeargle and Alakazam versus the world here, and this is kind of where I think Decidueye might have helped in the end game. Yet I could probably just go Primarina, to be honest, and get a KO with a Specs Dazzling Gleam. I believe I got a Psychic Def drop onto the Alakazam as well. So Specs Dazzling Gleam here is looking very good here. So let's see. Smeargle going to come out. And I'm not even sure if Psychic will knock out Snorlax. Maybe Psyshock, but I don't think Psychic will. I can go for a... Yeah, Dazzling Gleam should be able to knock out Alakazam at that range. Yep, he did get a special defense drop. And I think I'm just going to double up the Smeargle in case Alakazam protects and Smeargle goes for like a cheeky Spore. As we're going to see Baneful Bunker. Okay. So Smeargle's going to protect itself. So let's see what the Alakazam goes for. Z-move Alakazam. This is Shattered Psyche, it looks like. Okay. Who's it going into though? Is it going to be in a Snorlax? I would assume it'd be the Snorlax. Although, let's see. It's going to be, yep, Shattered Psyche, and it's going to target down. If this is Primarina, this could be bad, actually, but we still have Mimikyu in the back, so it's okay. Yeah, it actually targets down the Primarina, so I could have just returned the Alakazam, but I was more worried about a Spore Protect play. So Primarina goes down, which is a bit unfortunate here. As Snorlax will go for the return into that Smeargle. And now we got an interesting game. At least I know Alakazam shouldn't be able to knock out Snorlax with the Psychic. Yeah, this is still going to be an interesting game. Let's see. Moody gets a Speed Rise, which is a bit unfortunate depending on what kind of Smeargle that set is. Especially if it's slow one, which I would assume it was. So I'll go out into my Mimikyu here. And I guess I'll just click Play Rough. I don't want to click Shadow Claw, obviously, because if I click Shadow Claw and the Smeargle goes for something like Follow Me, I'm screwed anyway. I should be able to win by going for the Play Rough here and returning an Alakazam. Of course, maybe Alakazam could get a crit. Of course, Smeargle could go for Spore here, but as long as I get one attack off into the Alakazam, it should be able to pick the knockout. And yeah, the only thing that can really threaten me is a Follow Me, but a Follow Me won't save my opponent from the game. I think my opponent has to go off... Well, maybe if Alakazam protects here, which I was expecting the last turn. Maybe my opponent doesn't have Spore, actually, which would make a lot of sense, because this team looks like it focuses on getting Poison Chip damage, which definitely does make some sense, as Alakazam is going to protect. Oh, no. Oh, no. Guillotine. Oh, oh, my opponent. Oh, my opponent's getting cheeky here. Okay, okay. My opponent's getting a bit cheeky. I guess that means you don't have Follow Me. Let's see. Baneful Bunker. Baneful Bunker. Guillotine. What else is next? I don't know. I guess what's solid here is if he's going for a Guillotine. Well, if he's going for Guillotine, I could just... Well, I could just Play Rough Return here. I'm thinking about going for Trick Room and a Protect here. Yet, if he does have Spore, that could be an issue. And besides, I would be able to knock out the Alakazam with the Play Rough if he does go for that play anyway. So, I'll go for the... Trick Room is just such a safe play. Yeah, especially since Psychic doesn't knock me out here. Especially since my... I think double attacking the Alakazam is the smartest play. As yeah, Smeargle's going to protect here. Actually, if I Trick Room, it might have been better. Let's see if Alakazam can pick up the knockout. Future Sight. Ooh. Okay, that's kind of cool. But that should win me the game no matter what. Because I don't think Smeargle can beat Mimikyu at all. As, let's see. Let's see. We go for return. And no matter what. Okay, maybe there's a way my opponent can win. But it involves many Baneful Bunkers, or okay, there is a way. There's always a way. You could always like, I can't attack into a Baneful Bunker, or if I do, I have to make sure I don't miss a Play Rough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my opponent just tries to go for Guillotine here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my opponent just goes for Guillotine here, so I'm just gonna Play Rough and return the Smeargle no matter what. I think you would go for Guillotine here if anything. The match is actually going to be forfeit, and actually what's cool is my opponent got an accuracy rise, so unless my opponent didn't get any evasion boost, I could have always psyched up the Mimikyu, and that would have prevented my opponent any chance from missing a Play Rough, so it'd be less likely for my opponent to win the game. So that was something I was definitely considering, but we do take that a game one. Minimize is always a bit annoying to play, but luckily we do have the tools on this team that can sort of prevent it. I mean, we have Taunt Lele, which, you know, prevents anything like a taunt from Sableye to prevent my Belly Drum, and I always get a Belly Drum with Snorlax. And if my opponent wants to set up Trick Room, great, because Snorlax will underspeed everything. It's still surprising how return only did 50% to a Chansey at +6. You have to admit that is kind of insane. But anyway, we're going to move on to a second game. And hopefully find some good games as well, as it's taking quite a while, as I'm pretty sure DC'd. Yeah, so we'll be right back for a second game. Alright, we've got our second opponent, Joshan or Josine or however you pronounce it, VGC, with it looks like Snow's team that he used to get top 4. We got the Nihilego, Tapu Koko, Salamence, Buzzwole, Metagross, and Gastrodon. So, how do I want to handle this team is the question. I don't exactly know. I mean, I have to hope that Pledge counts as a grass move. It should count as a grass type attack. I'm very sure it does. So if it does count as a grass type move, Gastrodon can't switch into it, which is really good. I could probably just pick up a knockout. Although I don't know if the pledges actually knock out a bulky Nihilego. That is a question. That's definitely a question. My opponent, let me see how fast my Lele is speed-wise, because if it outspeeds the Mence, that would be good. No, it underspeeds Mence, of course. So I think what I want to do is lead Decidueye Primarina, which is very solid in this matchup. And I think having Tapu Lele combined with Arcanine in the back is the play. Snorlax could do well here. Like, if I go a Trick Room route, yeah, if I go the Trick Room route, I'm very worried about the Metagross potentially. So I feel like this is best play. Of course, if my opponent does lead like a Metagross Salamence lead, this could get a bit troublesome, because I don't think I'll be able to knock out both those Pokemon with a double target. So, well, with the pledge attack. So this could be very interesting. That's for sure. Let's see how this is going to go. I do have Shadow Ball, which, you know, is going to do decent damage to Metagross no matter what. And I do have Ice Beam to threaten the Mence. Yet, none of those moves... Well, Shadow Ball doesn't pick up the knockout on Metagross, which is huge. And also the fact that Primarina is pretty slow. If it was a Tapu Fini, it might have been better. But, yeah, Salamence Metagross is actually going to be the lead. So, not exactly the best lead for me here. Not exactly the best lead for me here, as I do lead my Primarina and Decidueye. I will probably just go for... If I go for I can't go for U-turn. I think I have to go for... I either have to go for Pledge to gain some speed control, or I have to... But if I go for Pledge and I'm locked into a bad Pledge, that could change this game quite a bit. So I think what I'll do is I'll go for a Shadow Ball into Metagross turn 1, and I'll go for the Ice Beam. Yeah, Specs Ice Beam should be able to knock out the Salamence, and I'm pretty sure it's just Bulldoze plus Zen Headbutt going to go into Primarina, as actually Metagross protects, so I don't really mind this, because even if my opponent gets the Bulldoze off, Decidueye is going to have some decent speed here, and yeah, just goes for the Bulldoze, so probably trying to outspeed my Decidueye. But with the choice specs on Primarina, I will be able to knock out this Metagross, I mean not the Metagross, Salamence with the Ice Beam, so that prevents this Metagross from getting a weakness policy from the Bulldoze, which is really good, because I should be able to knock out this Metagross with a Banded Flare Blitz. So Salamence does go down here. Excellent turn, basically, for me. Really excellent turn. But scary Pokemon that can come out right here is Nihilego. I don't exactly have the best answers to Nihilego. So yeah, I might need some speed control somehow in this game. And of course, I did take the Bulldoze, so Decidueye is not going to outspeed a choice... a Tapu Koko, for instance, so that's going to hurt a bit, as Tapu Koko is going to come out. So I could double switch here. I don't think that's very good here, though. I could just go for a Shadow Ball into the Koko, but then, like, the only thing that can really take an electric type attack is, well, Primarina can take one if it's not a Z move, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So actually, I think the best play is to sack Primarina here and go for the double attack in the Koko, because since this is Timid Koko with no Life Orb, it shouldn't be able to knock out Primarina unless it's a double target or if it goes for the Z move right here. So I'm going to go for the double target in the top of Koko, because it will be able to pick up the knockout. And I'm worried about if I switch into Lele, as then Headbutt's going to connect with my Decidueye and probably pick up the knockout because of the fact I'm giving the boost from Psychic Terrain. So I feel like the best play is to get chip damage on the top of Koko no matter what, as my opponent does go for the Z move, and this is pretty important here because 1, you waste the Z move, 2, I can get my Arcanine in and the Banded Extreme Speed is going to do a lot of damage, and 3, Decidueye is going to survive the turn, which is really crucial here. As let's see, Gigavolt Havoc going to come out, target down my... should be targeting down... oh, Decidueye actually, okay. Is that even going to pick up the knockout? I don't think it will. yeah, it doesn't pick up the knockout, which is huge, and I'll be able to outspeed the Metagross because of my Choice Scarf from that Bulldoze earlier. So Shadow Ball's going to come out, and I don't think this gets a special defense drop, but Specs Ice Beam should have been able to finish off the job anyway. Zen Headbutt going to come out into Decidueye as well, so Decidueye is going to go down as well. But again, Ice Beam off into this, Ice Beam off in this Tapu Koko, which will pick up the knockout. So very interesting here, very interesting. I guess Gleam, well, I guess my opponent didn't think Thunderbolt plus Zen Headbutt would pick up the knockout on Decidueye. I think maybe Volt Switch would have been a safer play, but I can get my Arcanine in very safely here. Like, Arcanine's good against everything on my opponent's team except the Nihilego, which does come out. So maybe Tapu Lele was the play here because I shouldn't have brought out a Choice Mon. Yeah, Power Gem's definitely gonna hurt. Power Gem is definitely gonna hurt. Probably Power Gem Protect, I would assume. How fast is this Arcanine? Maybe I could outspeed this Nihilego, but I wouldn't be able to pick up the knockout. Yeah, this is like, these spreads weren't, Nate told me these spreads weren't the most optimal. I think I have to go, and I'm forced to go out into my Tapu Lele here and just Ice Beam the Nihilego slot. And yep, I feel like this is the only play I'm forced to make here because I get Tapu Lele in. As I'm pretty sure Power Gem plus Protect will be coming out. I'd be surprised if it's a double target. As yeah, Metagross is going to Protect. That means this Nihilego is definitely attacking here, which is going to be a what? As Ice Beam is going to come out into the Nihilego slot, as it will be able to do a lot of damage. Nihilego actually goes for the Trick Room, so man, I wouldn't have minded. Actually, no, wait. Is this okay? Yeah, this Tapu Lele is actually slower than a Nihilego, so I think we're good here. I don't think my opponent actually knows that, but the problem is, well, there is a problem, and that's the fact that Zen Headbutt is now boosted by Terrain, and Arcanine I don't think takes a Zen Headbutt in Terrain. So, how fast is this Metagross? Is Primarina faster? No, Primarina actually should be slower than the Metagross. So what I'll do is go out into my Arcanine right here. Is this mint speed Primarina? I actually don't know. Well, Primarina is base 60, I know that. So I'll be able to get a Psychic off, and the fact that this Metagross shouldn't be able to touch my Tapu Lele due to the fact of its moveset. It has Bullet Punch, Zen Headbutt, Hammer Arm, Protect. Unless it's changed to Meteor Mash, which I could definitely see here. Let's see. Yep, Zen Headbutt's going to come out. Target down my Primarina slot. No, it's Tapu Lele slot. Okay. Probably not expecting the threat from my Primarina is, yeah, my opponent expect my Tapu Lele to outspeed the Nihilego, so I do get a Psychic off, and it will be able to pick up the knockout onto that Nihilego, as Tapu Lele will take the chip damage, and this is basically a perfect ideal turn here, because now I can just go for a Steel Resist Psychic. Yeah, Steel Resist Psychic, so Moonblast is probably doing more, even in Psychic Terrain. I could also taunt the... How many turns of Trick Room are left? 3. I'm definitely not going to be able to outstall it with Arcanine. I think actually the best place to taunt here to prevent Metagross from stalling out any terrain. And I'll go for a Flare Blitz here. Let's see if Arcanine lives one Zen Headbutt. I really doubt it, but let's see. This Zen Headbutt's going to come out into Arcanine, which should pick up the knockout. Oh, it actually doesn't. So I get a taunt off into the Metagross here. And let's see, Arcanine does get Flare Blitz off, and this might be able to pick up the knockout onto the Metagross, and even if it doesn't, I should be able to win the game anyway by Moonblast. As yeah, Flare Blitz is able to pick up the knockout on Metagross, and that'll be a good game. So what I was trying to do there, I taunted just so my opponent couldn't stall out, and Primarina could go for an easy Choice Spec Scald, which would have done a lot of damage to the Metagross. Scald plus 2 Moonblast should have been able to pick up a knockout, and even if my opponent, my opponent could only target one Pokemon at a time. If Zen Headbutt didn't knock out Arcanine, I don't think it would have knocked out Primarina, even with the little bit of chip damage. So, yeah, I still think I won the game regardless, unless my opponent did get a flinch with Zen Headbutt, especially on that one turn with the Tapu Lele. But luckily, Tapu Lele was able to pull through, and we're going to move on to game 3. So 5 wins in a row with this team. Very nice, as we're going to go into our last game. And let's see, can this team pick up 6 wins in a row? That would be pretty cool. I don't know what's my best record with a team on the series in general, but it'd be cool if this team could do it. It definitely has the potential to. It definitely does. So we find someone right away, Argentino from Italy with a 15-12 rating, with the team of Tapu Koko, Xurkitree, Tapu Fini, Pheromosa, Raichu, and Marok. So this is definitely interesting. Very interesting. The problem is Decidueye. Decidueye doesn't outspeed Pheromosa, which is definitely a big crying shame, actually. It really is. What's good here? What's funny is Mimikyu actually does very solid in this game. I think if my opponent hits Pheromosa, I might be in trouble, but I think I'm going to lead Decidueye plus Tapu Lele here. Have Primarina in the back, because Primarina with the pledges could be good in the late game. And I think I want to go Mimikyu. I kind of want to go Arcanine because Banded Arcanine can destroy my opponent's team, but look at Mimikyu. Like, Mimikyu is so good against my opponent's team. It can easily take attacks for days, so I think I'm going to go Mimikyu as the last Pokemon. Although Arcanine could have definitely been useful, Intimidate forward at Pheromosa, I feel like this is better. I feel like it is, and I could regret it. I just don't know. Okay, it depends on sets. I would assume the Coco's Life Orb, they usually are on this team. So I wonder what the Primarina, the Pheromosa is carrying. If it's Life Orb, I don't know if Tapu Lele lives one Poison Jab, and I don't know if Decidueye lives a Life Orb Ice Beam. It should be able to live one regular Ice Beam, but I'm not exactly too sure about Decidueye's bulk. I think it's decent stats, but let's see what's gonna happen here. I hope my opponent doesn't leave Pheromosa because that'd be bad. I'm hoping it's like Raichu Coco to stop the pledges, as it's going to be Xurkitree Pheromosa. Basically one of the worst leads I could have ever asked for. So this is definitely bad. This is definitely bad. Tapu Lele I feel like is a bigger threat to my opponent than the I think Tapu Lele is a bigger threat than the Decidueye. I think I'm just going to protect, scout for maybe a Poisium Z, and we'll see how this goes. I'm not exactly too confident in what's happening here. A Life Orb Psychic will be able to do a lot to Xurkitree though. I also don't know. This could be like a Choice Scarf Xurkitree potentially. It's interesting to see 3 electric types and a Marowak on a team. I will go for Shadow Ball Protect here. I think it's a safe play, but who knows, my opponent could just go for the Ice Beam turn 1. And it's actually just a U-turn into Decidueye, so that's pretty bad actually because I don't get the damage I need on Pheromosa, and Decidueye has been weakened. So I do get one decent attack off. A Shadow Ball hits everything on my opponent's team. So it's going to be Tapu Koko. So Tapu Koko is getting 2 KO'd here. But I don't know, this is Scarf Xurkitree might just outspeed my Decidueye, which would be problematic. It looks like it doesn't. So Shadow Ball is going to come out into the Tapu Koko. Should be a 2 KO. It does look like it. And a Thunderbolt into Tapu Lele. So not the best, not the worst. I think I can go for a Shadow Ball here, and I think I could just switch out my Tapu Lele because I'm pretty sure you're going to be targeting down the Tapu Lele because it's such a big threat. I'm going to go out to Mimikyu to take any one attack. Also, the fact I want to reset the terrain, even if I let this Xurkitree set up, there's probably a way I can handle Xurkitree later in the game. Always, but right now I think I don't have a good answer to Raichu in this electric terrain, so I feel like I need to get my terrain back up, as I'm going to go out into my Mimikyu here and Tapu Koko protects. Okay, let's see what the Xurkitree is going for. I hope it's not a Tail Glow. A Thunderbolt's okay here. Shadow Ball is going to go out into the Tapu Koko, and it's going to be a Thunderbolt into the, yeah, it's going to be in a Tapu Lele slot. So Disguise is going to break, which is fine here. Let's see if it's an item like a Life Orb or anything. It looks like not, which is good here, as I will be able to get a Shadow Ball off into the Tapu Koko. And actually, I feel like I could go back into Tapu Lele here. The reason I want to go back into Tapu Lele here is because I feel like Electric Terrain Thunderbolt will be able to knock out the Decidueye, but maybe I could survive the Thunderbolt out of terrain with the Psychic Terrain up. So let's see. Tapu Lele will come back out because I don't want to lose my Decidueye if I don't have to. Also, Lele taking a regular Thunderbolt is fine. I get to confirm what kind of Xurkitree it is. Shadow Ball is going to come out into the Tapu Koko, which will be able to pick up the knockout. Yep, I think it's like barely a 2-hit knockout, so let's see. Hidden Power is going to come out. Ooh, so it's Hidden Power Ice. Okay. Does this pick up the knockout? It does pick up the knockout, which is pretty bad, not going to lie. Beast Boost is going to activate for the Xurkitree, getting a special attack boost. This is not looking good. I think my way of winning is going Mimikyu and getting a Trick Room up potentially, although my opponent can easily predict that. I'm going to go on a Mimikyu here, and this is going to be tough. I feel like, you could double up either slot, to be honest. So I think I'm going to Trick Room actually and Psychic. This is probably fast circuitry, which is like the annoying part. But then again, we're not fast lately, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to Psychic the circuitry and Trick Room because I feel you have to double target something in order to pick up a knockout unless you're banded Pheromosa with Poison Jab. That's the only way you pick up a knockout. And based on the U-turn damage, I don't think you're banded. I feel like you're just max attack like Naughty or Adamant or something. So the play here is just to Psychic the circuitry because if you pick up the knockout Mimikyu, I can't stop the circuitry otherwise. I have to Psychic picks up the knockout. Poison Jab's going to come out at the top of the ladder, which I don't think will pick up the knockout. Yeah, it doesn't. Nice. And Thunderbolt's going to go out, I think, in a Mimikyu. Yeah. So this is probably... Yeah, that's the most ideal turn. Mimikyu survives, which is huge. I do get a Psychic off in the circuitry, which does pick up the knockout. So circuitry going down there, that's fantastic. And let's see what my opponent does here, as I do get Trick Room up, which pretty much benefits me against this entire team. The only thing is now Feeny could become a bit of a threat. Mara could also become a bit of a threat, but if he went this offensive route, I wouldn't be surprised. It's actually going to be the Feeny, okay. I thought it might have been the... Okay, so it's the Feeny. Definitely interesting. I don't know if that's Sash Pheromosa or not. I would assume it's Z-move on this team, potentially. I think I'm just going to try to break a potential Sash with Pheromosa, and I'll just protect my Tapu Lele here. Calm Mind is definitely a scary thing. Calm Mind is definitely a scary thing, but I could see Muddy Water coming out here. I need to get Primarina in safely, and I don't want to switch into a potential Poison Jab at all, so I'd rather just go try to sack Mimikyu here. If potential. Worst case scenario is to protect from Pheromosa and Calm Mind. Yeah, that's basically it. Or maybe it's like sub Pheromosa, which would be really scary. Muddy Water sub would be really bad here. But let's see what my opponent goes for, as I will protect here. As Scald is going to come out. Target my Tapu Lele. Okay. So it's Scald, not Muddy Water. That actually makes a bit of a difference. As Shadow Claw into the Primarina Pheromosa, as we do see the Poison Jab, which will be able to knock out Mimikyu, but now I get a free switch into Primarina. Primarina basically gets Specs, Dazzling Gleams off very easily. And... oh, it wasn't max attack, huh? Is that banded Pheromosa? I actually can't tell. I mean, its U-turn did a lot more than usual. Maybe it's banded max speed? Huh. Oh well, I get Primarina in here. I can go for a Gleam. Yeah, because I don't have Moonblast, which is like the one downside to this team. And I guess I'll go for a Moonblast into the Tapu Fini slot, because no matter what, I'm going to be able to get a lot of damage with Primarina. The only thing I'm really worried about potentially is, again, as I said, it's going to be a Calm Mindset. As no Protects coming out from my opponents, I do get the Gleam off. No matter what, Gleam is a safe play. Look at that damage on Tapu Fini, and now I get single target Gleam off in the future, so that's really good damage. Moonblast is going to be coming out and targeting down the Tapu Lele. Okay, so Moonblast going to knock out my Tapu Lele here. I guess some problems are, one, a special defense drop. Ooh, but it's not Berry Tapu Fini, which makes things huge. A Dazzling Gleam should be a guaranteed 2 KO no matter what, even with a bunch of protects. Like, the first Gleam did about, what was that, about 40%, so this single target should do around, I would assume, like, high 40s to low 50s, and yeah. This is gonna, okay, yeah, protect stalling, the leftovers as well as the Trick Room, yep, and then you hope you get a special attack drop, and then you can protect stall. I'm not even sure Moonblast is gonna be a 2 KO on Primarina. I really doubt it. I think it's gonna be a 3 KO, so I'll be able to probably get at least 3 Gleams off, I feel like, unless he crits me, but I'm hoping that these Gleams do a lot of damage. I really do hope that Dazzling Gleam will be able to do a lot of damage here. If it was banded Pheromosa, I could have went for Play Rough, but I never make that assumption. I'd rather just go for Shadow Claw just to be on the safe side. As yeah, look at how much Gleam does. I don't think my opponent can actually recover that, even with the special attack drop here. Double crit, I guess, could happen. Wow. Look at that damage. That was nothing. Primarina eating up these attacks for days, and you're not going to survive the next Dazzling Gleam. Maybe if you get triple protect, but if you waste your time trying to get a triple protect and fail, you auto lose the game anyway. But actually, you probably auto lose no matter what. You don't have a Z move, you can't recover. Maybe you have Swagger and you're going to stall out the Misty Terrain, which I guess could make sense. I think that's maybe a potential way you could win, but otherwise, yeah, this looks very solid in my favor. Let's see if my opponent gets a double. I'm pretty sure Gleam will be able to pick up the knockout onto this Tapu Fini. Even with 2 special attack drops, I feel like Gleam would be able to pick up the knockout. I think my opponent needs either Swag or Protect to save him, but just going to go for the Moonblast anyway, and I think that should be game. Even with the second special attack drop, I think I'll be able to KO, and doesn't get it, so yeah. Gleam 100% KOs Tapu Fini here. Yep, and that'll be a good game. So this team gets 6 wins in a row. Very, very nice. As, yeah, that's just impressive. This team is just playing very impressive. Although the spreads kind of basic. I think most of them are just 252, like max HP, max attack, special attack, whatever. But it ends up working anyway. Tapu Lele able to survive the attacks it needs. Well, the Mimikyu on my side is actually like a lot of bulk, so no surprise there of it being able to survive Xurkitry's attack. But anyway, hope everyone did enjoy today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really shows your support, as well as if you think anyone you know would enjoy this video, feel free to share it to them, as I would appreciate it. As well as you can leave a comment down below. You can check out my social medias down below. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you all around on another video.